All right, today we'll be covering Lesson 6-2, two-column geometric proofs. On the very first slide for today, you had to unpack your learning targets. On the previous slide, you should have seen this paragraph about earlier we wrote two-column proofs to solve algebraic equations, and you should have also found this math term that says vertical angles theorem states that two vertical angles are congruent. Congruent means that they have the same angle measure. Okay? We're going to be chunking this lesson into 4 separate sections. And the first section is going to cover example A and example B. Let's take a look at example A. Example A says, theorem, vertical angles are congruent. Given, angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles. Prove, angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. And they've given you a picture. It says, to start off, statement 1. The measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 180 degrees. That's based on the definition of supplementary angles. In 2, it says the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 180 degrees. Again, that's definition of supplementary angles. 3 states the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 3 equals the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3. They called this the substitution property. So they basically said that this equals this, and because both of them equaled 180, they kind of set them equal to each other. Then suddenly we've now come to this statement. The measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 2. This 3 here and this 3, what they did was they subtracted it from both sides of the equation to get the 1 equal to the 2. So they use the subtraction property of equality. And in the last statement, if I say that two angle measures are equal, then I can say that two angles are congruent by definition of congruent angles. Let's take a look at guided example B. It says, supply the missing statements and reasons. Theorem, all right angles are congruent. Given, angle A and angle B are right angles. Prove, angle A is congruent to angle B. So they've kind of got us a few statements along the way. They've given us a few reasons, and they want us to kind of fill in the blanks. So let's see. What were we given to begin with? Well, we were given this statement right here. Angle A and angle B are right angles. Next, it says the measure of angle A equals 90 degrees. The measure of angle B equals 90 degrees. The definition that gives us that information is, well, the only thing we know up to this point is that we've got right angles. So, definition of right angles. Next, it states the measure of angle A equals blank. Well, I'm going to assume that the only other angle we're dealing with here is angle B. And this would be a substitution property. I have angle A is equal to 90 and have angle B equals 90. So now I'm just saying that A equals B. So I'm going to call this substitution. So we have the substitution property of equality. Sometimes you'll see it written all out. I'm going to go ahead and add that to it, okay? Lastly, blank congruent angle B and definition of something. Well, it asked us to prove angle A was congruent to angle B. So I'm going to put angle A congruent to angle B. Now, if I know two angle measures are the same, then I can say that their angles are congruent by definition of congruent angles. When we're structuring our proofs, we always want to start with what we're given, and we always want to end with what we're trying to prove. And we try to work the steps out to follow the logical order. On to your debriefing.